15 vintage O.J. Simpson football cards you have to see to believe. Once upon a time, O.J. Simpson football cards were some of the most sought after in the entire hobby. After all, O.J. was a Heisman Trophy winner, a rushing champion, a Hall of Famer, a movie star for God's sakes. Then, the summer of 1994 changed all that forever, and O.J. eventually ended up in prison, though not for the reason a lot of folks thought that he should have. But within the hobby, at least, Simpson has rebounded to some degree, and his cards make some noise again on the market these days. And while many of his Topps cards from the 1970s are classics, O.J. featured prominently in some pretty darn freaky oddball sets. That's why we're here, to run down 15 of the best off-the-wall O.J. Simpson football cards you're likely to ever see. 1969 Glendale Stamps, O.J. Simpson. This was a fairly huge set for the time, numbering 312 stamps in all. They were issued in sheets by team, either perforated or not. If you find a single stamp, then it's either been pulled apart from its mates or cut apart. Either way, this is about as oddball of an O.J. Simpson rookie card as you're likely to find. 1970 Kellogg's O.J. Simpson, number 48. In 1970, kids either got a treat or a major disappointment with their cornflakes. If you were looking for a toy or an iron-on of that silly rooster, you were out of luck. But if you were looking for nifty 3D cards of your favorite football or baseball players, well, Kellogg's had you covered. These cards were reminiscent of a super scarce 1968 Topps 3D baseball test issue, and O.J. looks sort of ominous in hindsight. 1970 Topps Super Glossy O.J. Simpson, number 22. These super glossy cards were inserted as premiums in Series 2 packs of the 1970 Topps football product and featured 16 different players. The cards are colorful, with rounded corners and minimal backs, and true to their title, feature a high gloss finish. In addition to Simpson, big names included Joe Namath, Johnny Unitas, Bart Starr, and Lynn Dawson. 1970 Topps Super O.J. Simpson, number 24. Like their baseball counterparts, these cards were big, 3 1/8 by 5 1/4, and as thick as melted candy corn. A standalone set of 35, this thing was loaded with Hall of Famers, including Dick Butkus, Bob Greasy, Namath, Simpson, and others. The Simpson card features the same image as on the Super Glossy, against a solid yellow background. 1971 Bazooka O.J. Simpson, number 14. Bazooka is actually a Topps product, so these cards are too. Issued in panels of 3 cards per 25-cent box of Bazooka, this set was a one-year wonder. But it made the most of its run by including 17 future Hall of Famers among its 36 cards. A smiling O.J. was among them, and this is a pretty tough card to find, especially in top condition. 1971 Dell O.J. Simpson. This set of 48 cards was issued as a centerfold in the 1971-72 Dell NFL Yearbook. Over the years, in the early years mainly, collectors seem to want to make these into individual pieces, so you'll often find them as jagged singles, if you can find them at all. Like the others in the set, Simpson is fairly tough, but not super expensive. 1971 Mattel Instant Replay Records, O.J. Simpson. These cards were actually tiny, 2.5 inches in diameter records that could be played in a special toy made just for this purpose. Each record gave kids about 30 seconds of highlights about the player pictured, who was rendered in a comic drawing. While far from a typical collectible, there is no denying this is one eye-catching O.J. issue that screams 70s. 1971 Topps Game Cards O.J. Simpson, number 7. Topps issued a set of baseball playing cards in 1968, not to mention 2 such sets in 1951, so it was high time they did likewise for football in 1971. Cy Berger and the other bigwigs at TCG must have felt the same way because they gave us this 53-card set, 52 players and 1 first down marker. O.J. goes for a 9-yard run on his card, which seems just about right for a primetime juice. 1971 Topps Pinups, O.J. Simpson, number 13. Go ahead, admit it. You thought you were going to see a picture of O.J. in a bikini here, didn't you? Nah, These aren't that kind of pinups. Rather, these are little posters, 5 by 7 inches, that were issued folded up in inserts of packs of 1971 Topps football cards. And OJ, he appears in full Bills uniform, plus a smile. 1972 NFLPA Iron-Ons OJ Simpson. If you ever wanted to have Simpson's face at peak sideburn grooviness tattooed all over the front of your shirt, this is the card for you. The disclaimer here is that these aren't really cards at all. They're floppy cloth. All 35 of them were available at vending machines across the nation. 1972 NFLPA Wonderful World Stamps O.J. Simpson, number 43. The NFLPA was busy in 1972, also issuing this set of 390 stamps, along with the requisite stamp album. OJ was looking pretty Hollywood in this shot, especially considering he was still toiling in cold, snowy Buffalo. 1977 Topps Mexican O.J. Simpson All-Pro, number 100. In 1977, Topps tried a little experiment, printing an entire duplicate run of their base football card set in Mexico, identical in every way, except the text is in Spanish, and the cards were perforated on the sheets. And they may have been hand-torn and placed into packs, and you got only 2 with gum, or 4 with no gum per pack. And the cards allegedly bombed in Mexico and sat in a warehouse until 1980 or so. Other than that, the same. The end result for us is a rare card of O.J. Simpson, Selección AFC in 1976, and a dude who picked up 1,000 yardas on the ground that same year. 1977 Topps Mexican O.J. Simpson, record breaker, number 453. Same story here, except Simpson was busy breaking records, in particular rushing for 273 yards against the Detroit Lions on November 25, 1976. Impuso record. 1977 Topps Mexican rushing leaders, Simpson/Payton, number 3. This card would already be double trouble thanks to Simpson's NFC rushing leader counterpart, Walter Payton, another denizen of Canton. But having sweetness and juice team up only sweetens what is considered to be one of the 12 or so scarcest cards in the set, probably due to the short print situation. Finding any of these 3 might be a problem, but finding this one would make you a Sherlock Holmes of the cardboard world. 1978 Topps Wholesome O.J. Simpson, number 29. These cards were issued with loaves of wholesome bread, but they bear no marking to testament to that fact. Oh well, Topps made these things clearer and brighter than any of their base sets of the era, so that's a plus, even if OJ does look ticked about landing with the woeful San Francisco 49ers. Like our video? Then like our video and subscribe to our channel. waxpackgods.com